Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Great, we will get started. We are thrilled to have you here, and we see a lot of interest in the Sustainability Fellowship Program. And I'm so glad to have you all here with us today. So, here you can see our agenda for today. I'm especially excited because we have two of our fellow alumni join us. So we have around 40 minutes of material, and then we will open it up to questions until 2 p.m. And before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that this session is being recorded and the recording will be available to you. It will be sent out via email and it will also be uploaded to the UNED Sustainability Fellowship, the UNED Sustainability Institute's YouTube channel. Awesome. So you will hear from several of us today. I am Vanya Ahmed. I am the Network Stewardship Coordinator here at the Sustainability Institute. And this program is basically made possible by a lot of people behind scene who work at the Sustainability Institute, especially Alexis Dwyer that I mentioned here, the Community Engaged Education Manager. So I just wanted to acknowledge that this I may be just here, but there is a team that helps provide support to this program. Um, and in addition, we have two of our alumni from the 2025 cohort, Ella Longaker and Sophie Goodwin, joining us to discuss about their experience. So, getting to know UNH a bit more, UNH is a national leader in sustainability. In 2022, we celebrated the 25th anniversary of UNH Sustainability Institute, and UNH is super proud of being one of the only 13 schools in US to currently hold the STARS Platinum rating, rated by the Association of Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education. So ASHI, which is the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education, is a platform that rates different higher education institutes based on their sustainability. And Platinum is the highest level you can achieve, which UNH currently holds. So UNED students drive sustainability, and they are really the change makers that lead to this platinum level. And we work with them, but we also work with a lot of staff, businesses, nonprofits, government agencies, and all of us committed to advancing positive change for the good for all. And this is one of my favorite things when it comes to sustainability. A lot of students and a lot of people ask us, what does sustainability mean for us? And I think that's a great question. Sustainability can be defined in a variety of ways, but we look at it as an umbrella term and define it by the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, much commonly known as the SDGs by UN. So anything that advances these goals is considered as sustainability for us. So many of the ways we advance SDGs is through a variety of programs and events that serve UNS students and alumni, as well as regional businesses, nonprofits, and the community at large. So these programs and events include the Be Impact Clinic, the Climate Action Clinic, Semester in the City, and Sustainability Fellowship. So you can check out these programs on our website. Our website is UNED Sustainability, and you can have different pages of all of these programs listed on there. Sorry, just awesome. So I think we skipped one slide, sorry. So, of course, we are here to talk about the Sustainability Fellowship. The fellowship is all about matching students or post baccalaureates like all of you with excellent organizations that are doing important work in sustainability. We set the stage and you work on a well thought out project. So, we help you in getting to the project, and then you take full ownership of the project, but it also provides you a collaborative atmosphere. And in turn, our goal is to build a resilient community and a resilient world. So we have three goals with the fellowship. The first one is to make an impact. These projects are designed to get something done and sustain the organizations or company into future, which creates an impact on the communities and the region you're working in. So we really want to make sure that even after you're done with the project over the summer, that is something that that the organization will be sustaining and maintaining over the course of their work. So even after you leave, your impact would still be there. Second, we hope to create an immersive and high quality learning experience for all of you, possibly even career launching experience. Speaking from my personal experience, Sustainability Fellowship provided me an opportunity to launch my career in sustainability. And it works like that for many of the students who join this fellowship. And third, these projects and the summer cohorts come together to be a part of a network of sustainability professionals who are working and learning together throughout the summer and throughout the rest of their careers. So, one of the big things that students really appreciate is the network they find when they join Sustainability Fellowship. So, what sets this fellowship experience apart? What is different when it comes to why this fellowship and not an internship? Like, why is it different from an internship? Apart from, so the work that you will be doing with organizations, apart from that, you will also be part of a bigger program that helps that has multiple advantages and assets. So, first of all, we designed the project that you can own. You will come in and take responsibility of the fellowship project and have autonomy and ownership of your work. The projects are also designed to have tangible outcomes. Thus, at the end of the summer, you will have accomplished a project that you will be able to add to your portfolio. Especially for your resumes, this is a great opportunity to have something that you were taking complete ownership of. So, you will also be a part of a fellow cohort working with different organizations, different types of organizations, and you will be seeing the different work that your fellows will be doing. This will give you an opportunity for cross pollination, of course, and for ideas about different experiences and how to learn and work in a different environment rather than just working with one organization. So it really helps you like in expanding your horizon. It can give you a broad view of all the possibilities within the reach of sustainability and the careers that you can have in sustainability. So, as I mentioned earlier about the network that you will be joining, the network is an advantage in the summer and will be a network for your future as well. So, even after the fellowship is over, a lot of students continue to keep in touch with their mentors, with their advisors, with their fellows, and really build a great network for their career, for support, mentorship, and information and resources. So the network is made up of all the organization that you work with and the alumni of the program. So it's a great opportunity for you to reach out to people that are pursuing careers in your direction. Additionally, not only will you have your fellow work during the summer, but you also have the opportunity to be part of a fellowship team here at UNH. So this provides you a component of professional development. You will be working with your host organization during most of the days, but you will also have a chance to engage in training, and you will also have a chance to engage in different peer learning activities. And as noted here, this is of course a paid opportunity. This has been really important for us. We believe you should be compensated for your work and the skills you bring to the table. So our program is paid per hour, and we will be discussing the rates as we move on. And finally, these projects are designed so you can take ownership and make great impact. So these projects, even after the summer is over, as I discussed earlier, will continue to create an impact. So, talking a little bit about what does the summer look like, you will primarily focus on your fellowship project that you would see the description of and apply for, and you would be working with that organization, whether it be remote, in person, or hybrid, depending on the organization. But you will be having the opportunity to be involved in UNH's different activities. So some of them we have mentioned here, which are very important and sort of career launching activities that allow you a great network available to you during those days and even after. So as mentioned here, you have a 2-day orientation period, which allows you to really get into the program, meet other fellows, meet other organizations. After that, you have weekly advisory group meetings with your advisors in a small cohort with students who are pursuing similar projects or have projects that have similar impact than yours. And you will have two advisors from UNH that will be helping you and guiding you in the work that you will be doing. Other than that, we have a webinar series. So that happens twice or thrice over the summer. That gives you professional development and sustainability webinars. Again, this is an opportunity where you will be with all other fellows. It will be virtual, but you will have the opportunity to interact with them and build your network. And then, of course, the launch in person is when all of the fellows come together on UNH campus for 2 days, and the organizations also come together, the advisors come together. So you have networking opportunities, you have opportunity to present the work you will be doing, and it really helps you in not just in terms of building your network, but really talking about the work that you will be doing in an ownership way. And then the showcase is the final activity of the summer, where we virtually present the work that we did over the summer to an audience of the organizations that, of course, that were present. So again, it really gives you an opportunity to show the impact that you created to not just the organization that you were working for, but several other organizations. So are the fellowships fully in person? We get asked this a lot. So the fellowship can be in person, they can be online, completely remote, or they can be a hybrid model. So you would be looking at when the applications are posted on the website, you can just look at them and they will all say which type of application they are, whether they are remote, in person, or hybrid model. So it depends on the organization and the kind of work they will assign you, and we really make sure that you are able to thrive best about related to your project and the model that you're working in. So it really depends on what is the kind of work you are doing. So when the position descriptions are released, please look for the specific working model that your project will be applying. And schedule-wise, most of often schedules are work between the fellows and the host organization. So you would be working directly with them on that. So be aware of, if you're working remotely, of the different time zones, if you're working from a different time zone. But once again, this would be worked between you and your host organization. In terms of setup, if you're working remote, you will need to have access to even if it's remote or hybrid, you would need access to computer, mic, webcam, high-speed internet, a phone, and a quiet workspace. If having access to any of these is a barrier for you, you can let us know, because we really don't want this to be a hindrance for you, and we will try to provide assistance as we can. So yeah, this is a glimpse into what the fellowship will look like over the summer. And after this, I really want to thank Ella for joining us today. She's a fellow alumni from 2025 Sustainability Fellowship, but she was also with us in 2024. So I would want her to talk about her experience as a fellow. And then towards the end of our time, in the last 20 minutes, if you have any questions from Ella, please feel free to put them in the chat or unmute your mic. Ella, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name's Ella. I'm a senior now at UNH. I'm majoring in information systems and business analytics and sustainability. And like Wanya said, I was a fellow this past summer and then 2 summers ago. So 2 summers ago, I worked at Hypertherm Associates, which is a larger industrial manufacturer, and I mainly focused on a research project of researching and planning what it would look like for Hypertherm to implement Miyawaki Forest, which is sort of this more unique sustainability initiative. So it was very much research-based. I did individual research on my own. It was a lot of reaching out to professionals in the field and experts to have conversations with them. I did budgeting. I did like quantifying the ecosystem benefits that would come from the forest. So there's a lot of different skills and sort of aspects of that project. And then this past summer, I sort of completely switched gears and worked at Climate Work Maine, which is a very small nonprofit based out of Portland, Maine. And I sort of had multiple projects in this position. I helped develop this new program that they were sort of creating. I worked on grant work. I did a membership analysis. So a bunch of like sort of smaller projects. Rather than like one main research project like my fellowship at Hypertherm. But I think both of my fellowships really gave me a lot of skills that I can apply moving forward in my professional life. I got research, data analysis, outreach, marketing and communications, budgeting, stakeholder engagement, a ton of project management. That's something that you'll get in any of the fellowship positions that you have because you're really just given this project and it's your responsibility. You'll be given sort of like the outline and the things that your mentors want you to do to complete it, but it's really your opportunity and goal to figure out how you're going to get to that final deliverable or outcome or whatever it may be. So it's really great project management skills. Um, and I think like with both of these experiences, something that I'm definitely going to be carrying into whatever my next um, professional role is really being able to sort of develop this portfolio of like sustainable business practices, not only with the experiences that I've had, but also working with the other fellows in this cohort. You learn about so many different things that businesses or organizations are doing. And you can really apply that to wherever you go next. So that's a bit one of the biggest takeaways and like impact that I've had from this program. And I feel like something that really makes this program stand out to like any other normal internship is like the community that it gives you. There's a huge community and it's not just New England, it's all over the United States. So fellows coming in, mentors, organizations, and they're all focused on sustainability work. And they purposely set up the program so that you're able to interact with all these people, not just like your one organization or just in your advisory group. So it really gives you a huge network of professionals, which has been really helpful for me. Um, and then like Monia was also saying, your projects like have an actual impact. I know a lot of internship work is sometimes just known as like busy work, but for me, like after leaving Climate Work Maine this summer, I'm still seeing them post the material that I created over the summer. So it's really great to see that my work is actually being shared and it's being used. And I think that's something that you don't necessarily always get out of a normal internship. And I think just the final thing I would add is that in this program, it is full time, it is a lot of work, but you have so much support between the faculty at UNH, your mentors, your advisory group, which consists of UNH faculty, but also other professionals in like the sustainability world and industry. And really everyone's there just to help you. Um, so there's so much support in it, and that's something that I really appreciated with the program.
Thank you so much, Ella. I have a question for you. What was like
Yes.
one favorite part of your fellowship?
I would say for my one at Climate Work Maine this past summer, my favorite part was really being able to like build my relationship with my mentors. I was in the unique position where one of my mentors had just graduated like a year ago, so she was still really young and we became very close. We still talk to this day. Um, and it was just amazing. So that was definitely one of my favorite parts this past summer.
Amazing. That's so nice to hear. Thank you so much for sharing that. Um, and now we have Sophie. I don't see, sorry, Sophie. Oh, I see you now. Sophie, thank you so much for joining us and talking about your experience. Again, Sophie was a fellow with us 2 summers, the past summer and the summer before that as well. So thank you so much for joining us and talking to us about your experience. Over to you.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. I feel like a lot of the things I love about the fellowship, Ella said really well. So I'll do my best to add some unique experiences if I can. Yeah, so I graduated from UNH with a dual degree in sociology and sustainability in 2024. And typically, whenever I talk to people about how much I love sustainability and how I want to work in climate, their next question is, so like, how does sociology relate to that? And I think I remember my first interview with my mentor my first summer, which was the Durham town administrator. And he asked me that question, and I kind of just made it up on the fly, but then it was totally true, where it's just that's how I think about the world. But sustainability is really what I want to go into. And he said that answer was the reason why I got the position. And now I've been there for over a year. So I have kind of a unique fellowship experience where my fellowship was the only one that continued on through the academic year. And then last year, they asked me to stay on for another year. So I've been with the town of Durham since May of 2024. And this is kind of a really fun day for me to be talking about this, because last night, my project for the past year and 4 months, the climate action plan for the town finally got approved in front of the town council. So this and then that, it's kind of crazy. But I will say that, so my first year I had that fellowship and it was amazing. I was trusted with so much. I basically was the sustainability coordinator, still am, for the town. And it at first was really scary, but then I realized that they wouldn't just give this to me if I wasn't capable of it. And I had so many people that were working with me at the fellowship and at the institute that were willing to help me with the things I was struggling with. And then from there, it just has continued to get better. I work on a part-time basis as I'm a master's student in sociology at UNH. And then last summer, I kind of realized that they might not have that many projects for me over the summer, and I cannot survive on 10 to 15 hours a week over an entire summer. So I decided to apply again because I had such a great time my first year, and I worked with the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services. So I went from working on climate action planning at a municipality of 20,000 people to then working on the entire state's greenhouse gas inventory for their comprehensive climate action plan. And that was just blew me away. Those experiences that I had. Again, I thought that being trusted with a climate action plan for a town was a lot. Then I was being entrusted with an entire inventory for the whole state. And instead of being scared, I was just really proud and really excited that I had the opportunity to work on it. And then this summer, it was amazing. I was able to finish early and then just work on little data projects and just made a lot of really good connections on the state level, including throughout New England, which is great because I want to go into, energy consulting or climate action planning in Boston or the New England area. So I met a lot of people that I am now applying for jobs with. So I can say, I think I met you on this webinar or on this meeting, which is really cool. And then other than that, I will say that apart from the work, again, the network has been amazing. I joined every single opportunity that I could, just because I think that learning from other people, especially right now, is just so amazing. We talked a lot about community whenever we would meet up and how amazing it is that there are people who really care about the same things you do and are working towards it. Countless people that are working behind the scenes. And I will say one of my favorite opportunities of this summer was because I worked in Concord. There were a lot of other fellows that worked in Concord, and we met up for lunch 4 times over the summer, and it was so much fun. And now I'm really close with those people, and that was really great. I found out that I live literally a 2-minute walk from one of the other fellows, so we've hung out 5 times since the end of the summer fellowship, which is great. And yeah, other than that, I feel like it's just people ask me if it was an internship, and I'm always so excited to say, no, it was a fellowship, because it's just so much more advanced. You're entrusted with so much more. And like Ella said, it's less busy work. You can have these things that you can put on your portfolio, post about on LinkedIn, put on your resume, that are so high level and really advanced for people our age, or at this stage in, applying for jobs and those sorts of things. So yeah, I mean, other than that, I will say that I have loved being a fellow, and I'm already like sad that in May I'll be done because I'm looking finally for full-time jobs when I graduate with my master's. But I've had the most wonderful experience with the Sustainability Institute, and I can't recommend it more. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sophie. You may be graduating and moving on to full-time opportunities, but the best thing about fellowship is that you're always part of our network.
Exactly.
So thank you so much, Ella and Sophie, about sharing about your experience. If we have any questions towards the end, we will be answering them, but let's move forward. So hopefully this has given you a little bit idea of what the projects would look like, but now I want to talk to you a little bit more about the project topics and types that we generally have for the summer and how to apply to the program. And then we'll open it up to questions. So this summer, we are hoping to have around 25 projects to select from. Some of those projects will be for undergraduates, other will be for post-baccalaureates, which is anyone that has graduated as of May 2026. So if you are a senior right now, you would be moving on as a post-baccalaureate because you will be graduating in May 2026. If you look at the projects when they are posted online, you will see they will be divided between these three. There will be three categories. One of them would be undergraduates, one of them would be for post-baccalaureates only, and then the third would be projects that are open to both undergraduates and post-baccalaureates. Projects each summer fall into a lot of different categories, but the general themes we see are these four themes. So resilience and research, shared value, data, energy, and greenhouse gas accounting, and community engagement. So there's quite a range of different types of projects, but we really try to put them into different groups so that you can come together with other fellows and really learn from each other's experience, depending on if your work is similar to the work they're doing or if your impact is similar to the impact they're making. So an example would be if somebody is working with a town to work on the community outreach, they would be in community engagement. If somebody is doing in-depth research on greenhouse gas accounting or is creating a policy toolkit, they would be in data, energy, and greenhouse gas accounting. So it varies from different project to project. In addition to there being different kinds of topics to work on, and different organizations to work with, there's also a different focus for each type of work. Some of these are technical, academic, research and analysis focused. Some of them are more focused on policy and planning. And some of them are more focused, again, on community engagement and outreach. So if you are working, again, with the municipality on their policy toolkit, your work is more policy and planning focused. If you are doing an in-depth research, it's focused in research and analysis part. This is not how we divide our groups, but this is generally the trend we see in the different projects that we get for the summer. So all of that said, with all these different fellowship opportunities, how do you go about deciding which project would be the best fit for you? So first is the topic. Is the subject area of interest to you? Really think about what you want to move your career forward in. And that's really important. And then the work, is that type of work appealing to you? Again, as Sophie mentioned, she didn't know how to connect those dots, but she was passionate about sociology and sustainability, and that passion really came through when she was talking in her interview, and that because that work was really appealing to her. And then skills, is your goal to gain particular skills or knowledge? So this is something that I would want to highlight, is that when you're reading those project descriptions, really look at what skills you're trying to gain or skills that you're trying to build on. as Ella mentioned in her presentation, that she really gained project management experience, she gained community outreach experience, and there are different experiences. Some in the first fellowship, she gained research experience. So what is the skill that you want to move forward in? Organization, what type of organization do you want to have experience with? Some of the organizations that we have in the fellowship are well-known organizations, municipalities, nonprofits. Some of them are smaller organizations, but you as a person want to build your resume or your portfolio, or really want to move towards a career with those organizations. For example, I would want to move with my career with a smaller nonprofit and really want to experience how it's like to work with a small nonprofit. And you will get to see all of these different organizations. So you can choose, which organization is the best fit and which organization's experience you would want to experience. And again, like, this is just one of the aspects of thinking about the fellowship. As I was mentioning, you choose the topic, work, skills, organization, and community. What kind of community do you want to work with? Again, this is really focused on and is related to the kind of work you want to be doing. Are you interested in more community outreach focused work? Are you interested working on a policy toolkit, or are you interested in really working in a way that you take complete ownership and you're working on your own? Or do you want to have like a work environment where you are working with different people in the office or in the community? And then I would say this is one of the most important ones, which is qualifications. So do you have the necessary background for that job? So when you're applying, make sure that you see how you can talk about your qualifications and your background that aligns with the projects, because that would be the choosing criteria when we are evaluating your applications, that your qualifications and your passion really fits the project. So let's talk a little bit about eligibility. There are two different cohorts for summer. One set is designed specifically for undergraduate from UNH. Those will be students who will not have finished their undergraduate degrees as of this summer, May 2026. And those students who are currently first, second, and third year students in their undergraduate degrees. If you are a senior, you will be in the post-baccalaureate one, as I mentioned before. So then we also have the post-baccalaureate, as I mentioned, a separate set of projects that are designed for students who will have finished their undergraduates. This can be recent alumni. This could be graduate students. This can be PhD students. As you can see here, the compensation for post-baccalaureate students is slightly higher than the undergraduate students, and that's because we expect a higher level of experience and a higher level of skill from the post-baccalaureate cohort. So there are a lot of qualities that our awesome fellows have every single year. The fellows are passionate students. So what are some of the qualities that we really look forward to having in the fellows? So fellows are passionate to make a difference. They are collaborative, adaptable, and advocates for what they're working on. Fellows are excellent communicators, system thinkers, and are motivated to make a difference. And if you really feel like these are qualities that speak to you, this program is the right fit for you. And we really want you to focus on making these qualities shine when you are applying in your interviews and in your resumes and cover letters. And over here, I would want to mention a little bit that when you are applying in December or in January, when you're completing the application, or when you get a call for interview, you can really take help from CAPS to do mock interviews with them, to review your resumes with them, to really help your qualities shine. So now moving on to how to apply. Project descriptions will be posted on December 19th, and link to the application will be on the website. You will have until February 8th, 2026 to apply. So you really have a good amount of time, especially during your winter break, to go over the application in detail and see which ones you want to apply for. You can choose up to 2 projects to apply for. You don't have to apply for 2 projects, but that's the maximum number of projects that you can apply for. And when you're applying for each project, you have to include the following things. You have to write a cover letter for each project. However, the resume that you will include needs to be just one. So for example, if I'm applying for 2 projects, I would include 2 cover letters and 1 resume. But if I'm applying for just 1 project, I will include just 1 cover letter and 1 resume. You need to provide contact information of 3 references. Now, this is not reference letters. You don't have to give us reference letters. You just have to give us their name, emails, and contact information. So when the time comes, if need comes, we can contact them for a reference. And a short writing sample. The writing sample, we really encourage you to choose something that is in the direction of the project that you're applying for. For example, if you are applying for data analysis, you can choose like an academic paper that really shows the data analysis that you did. If you're applying for a community outreach project, maybe choose a paper or something that you wrote for the public audience. The limit for the writing samples is 2 pages, so you can choose like 1 page each type. And if you want to choose just 1 writing sample of 2 pages, that's also fine. But I would say if you're applying for 2 projects and they're 2 different projects, you can choose to apply with 2 different writing samples that really shine light on both of the types of work that you're doing. So we ask you to put your application documents all together into 1 package with a file name that looks like this. It's mentioned here, first name, last name, and 2026. And this is, of course, all available on the website when you will be applying. And when you go on the application, this information will also be written there. Cover letter first of the project that is your first priority. So if you are applying for 2 projects and there is one of them that you would want to give more preference to, please put your cover letters in that order. So cover letter 1, cover letter 2, then your resume, references, and then the writing samples. And you're going to put this all together in 1 PDF file and then submit it in the application that will be posted on the website on December 19th and until February 8th. Yes, so again, going over the timeline a little bit again, December 19th, that's when the projects are posted. We will start reviewing them on January 19th, but the final deadline for applying is February 8th. After February 8th, we will not be accepting applications. Then we will start reviewing them, all of them together. And then towards March and mid-March, you can expect to hear for interviews, but by the end of April is usually idealistically when you will hear about all the applications. So in terms of program, it begins on May 26th and goes up till August 14. May 26th and 27th are our orientation days. These are full days from 9 to 5, sometimes 8 to 5, but they are virtual. And then June 16th and 17th is the launch event where we come together on campus for the networking event and everything coming together and presenting your work. So again, this is something that is really important and we really want you to be there. And then for August 8th, again, it's a virtual event and you will be presenting your work virtually to an audience. And then August 14 is the last day of the fellowship. Now, I really want to emphasize that the days mentioned here, orientation, launch event, virtual final presentation, all of these are really important and it is absolutely necessary for you to participate in all of them. So if you think that you will not be free in any of these days, please make sure that you can clear your calendars and be available before accepting the fellowships. And I'm not saying that to be stern or anything. I'm just saying that because they really define the fellowship experience that you have. because beyond that, there is a lot of other opportunities beyond the work that you will be doing. There's a lot of opportunities for you to build that network and really, feel that fellowship experience. And that happens in these specific days. So we really want you to be there. So we have made it to the question and answer part. Please enter the questions you have in the chat. And you can also always email me to ask any questions. You can check the website for all the details. We would be emailing you with the webinar links. If you have any questions from Ella or Sophie, you can also add that to the chat. Let me see if we have any questions. Is this fellowship opportunity only for UNED students or alumni? So this fellowship opportunity is open to all UNED students from all majors, in even all international students at UNH, and then it is also open to recent alumni. If you're an undergrad student, do you have to be a UNH undergrad? Yes. If you're an undergrad student or a grad student or a recent alumni, this fellowship opportunity is open to UNH students. Is there any other question? Please feel free to unmute or put it in the chat. Hello, I'm a post-baccalaureate student from a different university. So we are only accepting UNH students for 2026 cohort. Sorry. Great question from Alexis. Sophie and Ella, can you share any tips regarding preparing for your fellowship interviews?
What I usually do when I apply for jobs and I get the interview request is I usually will look through my cover letter again and then look through the description again and kind of come up with practice questions for myself. I feel like for both of my interviews, they were pretty standard questions about, how my experiences can speak to different things that they want in the role. And then typically I think for other, like if it's a company that you're applying for, then they usually will have something on their website that kind of explains their culture. For me, it was this state agency and then a town. So it was less about that, but then I could kind of speak to why I loved the town of Durham or why I love living in New Hampshire. So kind of just, giving it a personal touch is important. And also for both of my interviews, I kind of just tried to calm down a little bit before because, they know that you're a student, they know that you're probably nervous, and I just kind of showed them my personality and like joked around with them, and it went really well. So
I agree with everything Sophie said. I tend to look at like the qualifications that they're looking for and try to write down like one experience I've had that relates to each one so I can talk about those. I do think these interviews specifically have been in general like very conversational. They're really not scary at all. They're some of the easier interviews that I've had. And they're just looking like as much as they're looking to know you, it's a good opportunity for you to get to know the company better. So like do your research, have questions to ask them so that you can see like, hey, is this going to be a place where I'd enjoy working, or is this going to be someone I'd enjoy working with?
That's great advice, Sophie and Ella. Thank you so much. I would definitely agree to that coming up with questions before the interview and also calming down, both of them are really important things. And I agree that we look at fellowship and the people in the fellowship that you would be working in at the host organizations, not as your supervisors, but as your mentors. So you really build a great relationship with them. And in the start, when you're doing interviews with them, you really see how they have that aspect of guiding you and not just examining you. So it's a really great experience to be part of it. Any other questions?
I see one in the Q&A, Wania.
Yes. I think it's if you are an undergrad student, do you have to be an UNH undergrad? Yes. Oh, I see
think
another one.
there's
Do you
one at
know
the
any
top.
specific fellowship opportunities that may be available for summer 2026? So the fellowship opportunities go live in December, as I mentioned earlier, on December 19th, but they are mostly in the range that I mentioned about research and resilience, the policy analysis, policy toolkits. They can be a little towards education. What else? Some of them are greenhouse gas accounting. So yeah, these are some of the places that you can expect the fellowship to be, but the exact organizations with the exact qualifications go live on December 19th on the website. I see another question. This is another question.
Wania, there's another one in the Q&A. I'll read it for you. Do you have to be pursuing a
Thank you.
degree in sustainability to apply?
That's a great question, and thank you for asking that. No, you don't have to be pursuing a degree in sustainability to apply. You can be from any degree at UNH. And most of the students, surprisingly, are not from sustainability degrees. We have students from business, and like you can see here, both of our students that are talking are dual majors, but you don't have to be a dual major. A lot of students are from business. We have students from engineering. We have students who are working in what's something else I'm just blanking on. Finance. Yes, finance is
Education.
education. Yes.
Education. Definitely many COLA majors, every college and school at UNH. So definitely check them out. I know Wania gave the great umbrella examples from years past. I'll turn on my camera. Hi, everyone. But just check back because we have such unique projects every year. So we're excited for you to see them.
Awesome. I think I'll wait 2 more minutes if anybody has any questions. And after that, I think we can end the meeting, and I will be sending you the recording soon. And as I mentioned, if you have any questions later on that you feel like you forgot to ask, please feel free to email me about them. Great. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And thank you so much, Ella, Alexis, and Sophie for joining us. And I'll be ending this session. Bye.